The Destiny's Bounty is one of the most iconic Ninjago vehicles of all time, and we've gotten so many versions over the years. So in this video, I'm gonna rank them all. Let's get started. First up, before we get into the actual list, I'm going to talk about an honorable mention I have, that being the Destiny Shadow. Now this is a pretty nice set for its price, and I can imagine picking this set up as a kid and having a lot of fun with it. However, this set is like nearly an eighth of some of the sets that we'll be seeing soon. I did want to mention this set, however, because I will be including things that aren't strictly Destiny's bounties, like the land bounty for example, because I feel like they're close enough, but this one is fine, just not really fair to compare to some of the others that we're gonna see. Now going on to the actual list though, at number 8 we have the Destiny's Bounty from 2012. Now I know a lot of people are pretty nostalgic for this set, and I mean for good reason. It was a pretty splendid set back in the day, but it's also one that I feel doesn't really hold up. I mean the designers were really limited in the pieces and the building techniques they had, because we hadn't really gotten any of the technic building that makes the recent bounties so stable. As a result, the base of the bounty just looks like a bunch of plates stacked on top of each other because, well, it is. The build is just so flat, and the shaping really was butchered on this ship. There's no interior, and this house thing in the back just looks terrible. It's so empty. I don't want to just clown on this set, but it's very obvious that this set came out 13 years ago, and times are different for LEGO back then. The play feature with the sails and the thrusters is nice, but I don't know guys, ever since I first saw this set, I just thought it was really ugly. That's no fault of the designer, as I keep reiterating, but this set came out in 2012, and when you stack this one up to some of the other modern bounties, it just doesn't compare. Moving on to number 7, I have the Possession Destiny's Bounty. Now, I really don't want to keep dissing these old bounties, but I feel like this one has a lot of the same problems the 2012 one did. However, at the same time, this one is a definite improvement. They fixed up the little cottage in the back, and it's just so much better. It's so much more substantial, not to mention the shaping around the front is much better. However, this is from 2015, so they still didn't really have the structural framework to make this set stable and big, and as such, the shaping around the bottom yet again feels flat. The feature with the thrusters are fun, yet I think it's a little bit obnoxious, especially when you have this whole thing sticking out at the back, and I don't think it looks too great. Overall, this bounty, like, it's getting there, still not the best it can be, but it is decent. Now on to number 6, we have the land bounty, and this one is fine. I think as a vehicle it serves its purpose, but I don't think it's amazing or anything. Like, it doesn't blow away my mind at all. It has a feature where this flower detaches from the top, and I mean, fun to play with, I guess. It has a bit of interior, and I will say that the design of this is pretty solid. Like, there aren't any glaring issues with this design like the last two bounties. However, I will also say that this bounty just doesn't really pique my interest. It doesn't represent a bounty at all, and that's not my biggest issue, but I feel like this is just a big truck with an interesting design, and the design doesn't speak to me the same way the Destiny's Bounty did. So a meh but solid set overall. Now entering the top 5, we have the Hydro Bounty, and this is an example of deviating from the OG Destiny's Bounty appearance and still doing it well. An all-white bounty looks pretty sleek, and the feature with the thrusters is pretty good. The section in the middle is like this light blue glass, which if you look inside has a docking bay. I think that's nice for play, and the blue pieces add a nice touch to the overall looks of this bounty. The cockpit in the back has a place to store a couple of ninja, and the sail also looks nice. The front of the bounty can be removed and transformed into a mech, so overall this set just looks really sleek and cool, and I love it for that. Really well designed. But before we move on to the really good bounties, just a quick reminder, if you're enjoying the video so far, make sure to like and subscribe. Anyway, moving on to number 4, now we have the Destiny's Bounty Race Against Time. I will never not find it funny that when this set was first rumored, people thought that the Race Against Time was like a hint to Crux and Acronics coming back in Ninjago. Also, we had blurry pictures of Rapton and we thought he looked like Crux. I don't know, I just find it funny. Anyway, on to the actual bounty. I really like this bounty. I think it was a fresh new take on the original design that turned out pretty well, which I think is pretty symbolic of Dragons Rising as a whole. I think the use of light blue and gold as well as the transparent blue, I think this gives this bounty kind of an updated, somewhat futuristic look. I like the shaping throughout the bounty. I think near the front it looks pretty good, and in the back it's also pretty nice. I will say that the thrusters on this bounty are probably the best looking out of any of the thrusters we've seen on a Destiny's Bounty, and I'm still not sure what to think of the big beam in the middle. I think it's decent looking, but it also feels a bit out of place, though I will say the sails on the top look pretty nice. This ship does have a pretty dope interior though. It can comfortably fit maybe like 5 ninja, and it doesn't have a dragon head on it, which I personally don't mind, but it is built to house this new dragon Sora. I think that takes away a bit from this bounty, because when you remove Sora the dragon, the front of the ship is quite empty. But overall, the ship is very fresh and quite new, and I like how it turned out, which is why it's here at the number 4 spot. Moving on to the top 3, we have the 3 best bounties that we've ever gotten from Ninjago, and boy are we in for some fantastic sets. Here in this spot, I put the Legacy Destiny's bounty. This is probably the best depiction of the bounty from the pilots to season 2. The shaping is immaculate all around through the hull, the head shaping is phenomenal, and the thrusters are pretty nice. The color scheme is decent and obviously pretty accurate to the show. The sails are awesome. The set also has a good bit of interior and a place to put Ninja on the deck. The house on the back looks nice, and it can detach to give you more room, I guess. The features with the sails and the thrusters are both integrated and don't take away from the looks of this build. Overall, literally a perfect Destiny's bounty. I love this one so much. So that leaves us with 2 bounties left. Both bounties are in the same style, big beautiful display pieces with a ton of interior space and room to pose figures. Honestly, these bounties are so similar yet so different, and the difference in quality is really subjective, and if I'm being real, I think the difference in quality is really small. But anyway, moving on to number 2, in this spot I have the Temple Bounty. This bounty is phenomenal, there's simply no other way to put it. It's the bounty with the most interior space. I love the color scheme. I think the dark colors look great on this one. I love all the temples because this is, well, the Temple Bounty. The sails are pretty good, the thrusters have a fun feature, and there's lots of room to post figures on the deck. This bounty is genuinely fantastic. If you want to know why, just look at it. The shaping around the body and the hull, awesome. Now, a bit for the negatives, I have seen from reviews that there is some loose paneling, though not super loose, and it definitely doesn't fall off. And the dragon going through the body is a bit thin and clearly disconnected at places. I'm probably going to modify this bounty once I have it to have that head in the front, because that's how it is in the show. But none of these flaws even come close to marking this set down, because this set is amazing. Now going on to number 1, the best Destiny's Bounty version that we've ever gotten in the past 14 years of Ninjago, we have the movie bounty. This bounty had a lot of the pros that the Temple Bounty had. Nice interior and nice shaping, though I will say I like the shaping on the Temple Bounty a bit more. I'm not a big fan of the front section. I feel like the heads are a bit too small for this bounty, and the shaping near the front is not the best, though I will say I think I like the general footprint of this set a little bit more. I don't know, I've just loved this set for so many years. The Temple Bounty is equally amazing, but it's new, so there's recency bias, and I just don't feel comfortable putting the Temple Bounty ahead of this set until I have it in hand. I will say the shack slash house build near the back of the ship is a lot better than the Temple Bounty. The shaping is bigger, it's better, and it might just contribute to me liking this set so much. Overall, incredible looking bounty, and I'm gonna have to leave it at the top of my list for now, though I wouldn't be surprised if that changed. But those are my rankings for every single Destiny's Bounty that we've gotten so far. Let me know what you think of my rankings down in the comments below. Let me know what's your favorite Destiny's Bounty. And other than that, make sure to subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.